When I read the book, The Hero Within by Deborah Grassman, I reflected on my life and my soul injury. I felt like saying, "You mean soul injuries," plural. You see, I had an unstable childhood that resulted in various manifestations of problems I would later come to recognize as soul wounds, a term Deborah uses that resonated with me immediately. When I thought about where my acknowledging and healing of my soul wounds started, or as Deborah calls it, my abiding and reckoning, I thought about a time in massage school when a good friend of mine gifted me a truth I needed to hear. She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You are in an abusive relationship with yourself. You would never let anyone else treat you the way you treat yourself." I was stunned, but I knew immediately that it was true. I knew instinctively that the root cause was directly linked to the type of abuse I witnessed and was subject to early in life. As well as striving to please my abuser, I internalized and directed a lot of his abusive behavior on myself, as if it was something that I had control over, or was deserving of because I wasn't perfect or good enough. That was about 6 years ago. It was then that I literally started putting one foot in front of the other on my path to healing and self-love. Let me tell you, I have stumbled, fallen, ran, walked, crawled, and even went backwards a few times. But I find my way a little more every day. This self-loving and self-healing work is never complete. I am not free to abandon it. It is a lifelong journey. Through the healing of my soul wounds, I have found much greater compassion for my husband's trauma. My healing taught me how deeply personal and specific this journey is for every person. My husband is an Army Afghanistan veteran who was a bomb tech engineer and suffered 2 IED blasts that left him with lifelong physical and psychological issues. No matter how much I love him or how much I care for him, this man has soul injuries as a result of war that I will never begin to comprehend. His soul injuries are different than mine, but the healing process is the same. Mourning our losses, and the list is long. Forgiving ourselves and others for things we did or did not do, and not being afraid of our emotional pain. I will never be able to fully understand his pain, but I can sit with him in the dark, hold his hand and support him the way that he needs to be supported, not the way that I think he needs to be supported. I met my husband after his deployment, so there was no grief over the loss of who he was before his deployment. I never knew my husband before he wasn't okay with crowds or before loud noises made his ears ring. I never knew the man who didn't struggle with night terrors every night. We have never had a dinner out together where I haven't walked up to the hostess and said, "Can we please have a table for 2 in the corner or in a booth? We are willing to wait." We've never lived in a home together that hasn't had 3 different calendars in an effort to support his poor short-term memory. We do this because my heart breaks seeing his frustration every time he forgets something he feels he should remember at 31 years old. While I was listening to Deborah's book, The Hero Within, my husband would wander in and catch parts of her descriptions of how military personnel were trained to handle situations and the stoicism involved. He would pipe up often in agreement with her recounts of some of the culture involved in military life and how soldier mindset likes to handle things. The material I was given to help me prepare for today's testimony has supported both of our healing journeys. This is our reality, our life. Together and separately, we work every day to heal our soul injuries by abiding and reckoning with our emotional pain. On this sometimes painful journey, we experience profound moments of healing accompanied by wells of compassion, shared vulnerability, and love. Don't be afraid of your emotional pain. We need to face it and feel it to heal our soul injuries and live in peace.